right. Well, welcome, dear ones. We are SOTU, and this is SOTUesday for May the 31st, 2016. And the title of this recording is Engage Your Social Network. And we have been asked recently for tools that one can use within the dynamics of facing the issues of the chaos that is occurring in so many of your lives right now. And one of the things that we would suggest to you is that you are all involved in a journey of your own choosing, and that there should be a reminder coming from within you of who you really are. You are all being urged from inner emotional dynamics to be more than you are right now. And in the dynamics of the reflection of your world, you are also being asked to be more, to find solutions, to begin to come together, to begin to work together. For that is the basic dynamic that is occurring now. So many in your world are moving ahead, kicking and screaming and making noise and raising a cacophony of dust that many of you others who actually are awakening, who actually are understanding of the movement, are getting lost in the dynamics of the day-to-day chaos and the day-to-day, what shall we say, cacophony of noise and reflections that are occurring in your world on a daily basis, as reflected often by the dynamics of your media and the dynamics of the things that are occurring in your life. And certainly so, the dynamics that come to you through mass media and through other reflections like that, we would say to you, are skewed and are somewhat controlled by the, shall we say, those that wish you to have certain perceptions. However, there is, in fact, a network that is broadcasting to you on a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week basis that many of you are aware of, but are not aware of the degree to which that network communicates with you. And that network consists of your soul and your higher self and your spirit, and perhaps for some of you, other unseen friends and guides that are in fact wishing to assist you in your journey, so that you can, what shall we say, create the changes that you have chosen to create in your lives with grace and elegance rather than with pain and suffering. And so we would like to spend today and this session telling you that there is a language of your soul is speaking to you every single day through the reflections of your reality. If something is ironic, dear ones, it is meant to get your attention. If you turn on the radio when you first get into your car and you hear a little snatch of conversation and it has a certain meaning for you, then we would suggest to you that it does. If you begin to understand that there is a constant language going on from things that touch you personally, and as you begin to move forward, and we're only going to give you the elementaries of it today, dear ones, because in fact it is a very complex dynamic. But as you begin to move forward, if you can begin first by realizing that there is a language going on between you and your soul through the reflections of your reality, and if you can begin to understand that, then you can begin to be able to discern patterns, and you can begin to discern understanding. Your soul has your best interest at your heart. Your higher self has your best interest at their heart. And they wish to speak to you with elegance, with grace, Now, if the only opportunity you give them to speak to you is through pain and suffering, they will resort to that eventually, because you have chosen these things, these emotional crossroads to face in your life. Now, if you begin to understand that, and you begin to understand that you are on a journey of divinity, you are on a journey of soul, you are on a journey of growth, of moving forward, of expanding consciousness, if you understand that that is what a lifetime is about and what this particular lifetime is about for you, you can also begin to understand the metaphors of the reflections of your consensus reality. For that is really the point, isn't it, dear ones? To find a way to make sense of the reflections of your realities. Those of you in the United States are faced with a very clear dynamic. Can you discern it? Can you see what each of the, what shall we say, proponents of different points of view are presenting to you in the dynamics of the offering you your reality? Are you going to just fall into a place where you believe that you have to have a leader, you have to have a coalesce, a what shall we say, a unified face? Or are you going to realize that each of you are a spark, an individual spark of the divine? No two of you are the same. No three of you particularly are the same. And so in that whole dynamic of movement and that whole dynamic of understanding, you realize you are in charge of your own reality. You create your reality 100%, and the great paradox of existence is that you are doing a divine dance with Mother Nature, with each other, with your soul, with your spirit, and even with God, Goddess, all that is. So if you can begin to understand that, and we would suggest to all of you that you begin to be able to step back and to understand that there are certain, what shall we say, things that are at play in your lives. Metaphors have meanings for you personally. But also, what is the metaphor of the greater picture that is being presented to you now? As you begin to touch those inner pieces of self, as you begin to develop a relationship with your higher self, as you begin to read the reflections of your soul, you begin to be able to move through the dynamics of your lives with greater ease and with greater elegance. You stop kicking and screaming about the things that you are facing, and you accept them as challenges to be moved beyond, to be grown through the experience of. For that is all that is going on in your world right now. You're being asked to grow up. Now, in the following few weeks, we're going to be speaking to you more about certain specific instances that have occurred in your realities, to begin to show you some of these metaphors, show you some of these reflections, show you some of these turning points in your, what shall we say, most recent history, so that you can begin to understand that, in fact, that language has been being spoken to you for quite some time. You have just been distracted by the chaos, and so you have not learned how to read the reflections. Once you begin to learn to read the reflections, you will know the choices that you have. For right now, most of you don't even know the choices that you are being faced with. You are so locked into the dynamics of your own personal experience that it is very hard for you to reach out. But it's time to lift your heads, dear ones. It's time to lift your heads and to look around you and to have a perspective of your reality that does not include fear, but includes objectivity and perspective. Yes, you may have to quiet certain pieces of yourself, but that is the challenge, is it not, dear ones? We are so too. We love you all so very, very much. And so until the next time we close, sending you peace, sending you happiness, sending you joy.